Come on, it's just a ranked match, really? You're this devastated. I lay frozen in bed, not daring to move. Tears slipped from the corner of my eye, and I brushed them away with the calloused pad of my finger. You're really that upset? Vincent was on my bed, hands braced beside me, our faces nearly touching. He just said a bug had crawled onto me. I didn't move. Is it done? Not yet. I watched his throat bob once, right in front of me. Two grown men like this was awkward as hell. I couldn't help it. I shifted slightly. Don't move. Vincent leaned down, our eyes locking. His warm breath brushed my cheek. My heart stuttered. I quickly turned my head. We were so close to kissing. Carl's voice came from under the bed. It's just a rank up, bro. Let me take care of it. The guy on top suddenly spoke up, his voice low and rough, crackling in my ear. He said, "You want me or him?" No hesitation. I shoved him off, but somehow ended up pinning him to the mattress. He lay there disheveled, ears flushed pink, like I'd wrecked him. I was panting, still reeling from what he'd just said. What the hell did you mean by that? Vincent let out a low chuckle. I was saying, you want me to carry you up the ranks. Or him. Carl's ears perked up at the noise. What are you two even doing in bed? Catching bugs? Did you find one? Carl yanked open the bed curtain and looked shocked to see me sitting on Vincent. Holy hell, what the fuck is going on here? I quickly pushed Vincent away and got off him. Both of our clothes were all wrinkled and in a mess, as if we just had a fight. Vincent adjusted his shirt with that lazy calm, then said, "He tried to get on top of me." I clamped my hand over his mouth, face burning, but the smirk in his eyes gave him away. He whispered, "You're gonna have to answer for my reputation now." After Vincent climbed down, I was still reeling. By morning, everyone in the dorm knew we were a thing. Carl's mouth ran faster than his brain. He deserved a slap. On my way to grab hot water, people stared like I'd grown a second head. I tried not to let it get to me. My bottle got snatched right out of my hand. Looked up, Landon. He popped the cap open, drained the last sip, throat working as he smirked. "I'm gone for a few days and you're already taken?" Then he reached out, thumb brushing my neck, fingers tracing along my jaw, his black ear stud glinting. Show off. I'd long gotten used to him touching me like this. I just shoved his hand away with one swift motion. "People are watching. For God's sake. Don't touch me like this here. Can't we just wait until we get back to the dorm?" He lifted my chin with a slow, teasing grip, his voice low and thick with intent. "Get lost." I snatched the water bottle and walked off, Landon dragging his suitcase right behind me like an obedient shadow. When we got back to the room, Vincent was already there. Carl had vanished somewhere, leaving just the three of us. Landon and Vincent locked eyes. The air crackled with tension. "Austin." "My wrist hurts." Landon scowled at me, eyes wide with fake suffering. "Fine." His hand had taken that basketball for me, so I owed him something. I stepped forward and took his wrist in both hands, checking it carefully. From the corner, Vincent murmured, "You said you'd take care of me? Now you're all over another guy?" A sharp twist in my gut. "No, are you two even sane?" "Yeah," Landon said, pulling my left hand to his face and rubbing it against his cheek. "I've got something called Landon deficiency syndrome. Well, I've got a bad case of can't live without Landon disease. You two are seriously messed up. I couldn't take it anymore." I pulled back fast. Watching the door close, Landon twisted his injured wrist with surprising ease and turned to look at Vincent. "You seriously lost your mind or what? What's the point of messing with Austin?" Vincent let out a low chuckle. "Who said I was messing with him? Fine then, let's see who ends up laughing last." To dodge the two of them, I'd shift my schedule every day, skipping class just to get out of the dorm early. But as soon as I stepped out after class, someone yanked me into a dim stairwell, a tight, empty corner where Vincent pinned me against the wall. His breath hit my neck, hot and teasing, sending shivers down my spine. "What are you running from?" "Ha, who said I was running from you?" I turned my head away, refusing to look at him. "Oh, not avoiding me? Then how about dinner tonight?" "Nope. Got plans already." Landon said he's got something important to tell me tonight. "Fine, then tomorrow?" "No, wait, Vincent, you're not actually into me, are you? This is all just some weird game." "Yeah, I am." Vincent held my gaze, his eyes clear and steady, not lying. And suddenly I panicked. "I do like guys, that's true. But Vincent cut me off. If you're into men, why can't I give it a shot? Austin, just give me a chance. Vincent's words left me speechless for a long time. Before I could react, a lazy voice came from behind me. Since when did we agree on fair play? Vincent. Landon reached for me, trying to pull me away, but Vincent blocked him. The two stood there, locked in silence, neither backing down. I slipped right between them without a word. You two fight it out. Back home, I flopped onto the bed, still trying to figure out what just happened. Did they plan this together? Was it some kind of prank? My phone buzzed. A message from Landon. Come down. What the hell is he doing here? I scrambled off the bed and rushed downstairs, snow falling softly outside. Landon stood in the cold, wearing a black coat, no umbrella, just dusted with light snow on his shoulders. He stumbled slightly when he saw me, stepping forward like he needed support, and then leaned into me hard. The scent of pine and winter wrapped around me. Something was off. Not the usual lazy charm. He seemed fragile, like someone else entirely. He clamped his arms around me, squeezing so tight I couldn't breathe. Landon, you're choking me. The grip softened, careful now, almost tender. He rested his head on my shoulder, whispering low in my ear. Could you, just not like Vincent? My heart skipped. How did he know? What are you even talking about? Yeah, I'm probably rambling. Landon let go and ruffled my hair, a flicker of that old smirk returning, like he just flipped back into his usual self. That damn charming playboy again. If I win first place in the race next week, promise me one thing. You're again? You won't even. I hadn't finished speaking when Landon cut me off. How do you even know I'm not gonna win? I haven't even raced yet. Vincent was a hardcore racing fan. He dominated those wild amateur circuits for years, and he was in this race too. The championship was a given. Just trust me once. Tell me you'll say yes. I couldn't argue with him, so I gave in. Loving Vincent had been a quiet secret buried deep inside me for ages. We'd met in high school during that rotating class system. Back then, someone purposely took my seat, and I just stood awkwardly in the corner. Then he happened to come back for his pencil case. I never thought he'd know that girl. He barely glanced at her before she blushed and bolted, and Vincent gave me a sheepish look as he stepped over. Sorry about that. Someone took your spot. You can sit here. His voice was soft. The first time anyone had ever spoken to me like that. Felt like a seed had been planted. Suddenly, light flooded in from some dark, endless hole. I wanted to get better too, to move closer to the light and become it. So we ended up at the same university, became roommates, but he didn't recognize me. And honestly, I wasn't upset. Felt like a fresh start between us. Only lately he's changed. Back then, he never reached out first, never came close. What the hell happened between Vincent and Landon? The day I'd agreed on with Vincent came around quickly. In the restaurant, gentle music played softly. I sat across from him, feeling awkward, watching as he calmly sliced his steak, his sharp features smooth and striking. I fumbled with my own knife, struggling to cut the meat, frustration creeping in. The two plates swapped places. Vincent's neatly sliced steak now in front of me. Vincent gave me a smile and said in a gentle voice, "Dig in. I cut it for you." I froze, hadn't expected that at all. I took small bites of the steak, my thoughts swirling with everything and nothing. What on earth is Vincent up to? He seemed to read my mind, studying me intently. "Austin," he said, quiet but sure. "I'm serious. I want to date you. Can I have a chance?" The sudden shift in his tone left me rattled. I looked up at him. "What exactly do you like about me?" He paused, then went on with quiet confidence. "Your kindness. Your courage." I cut him off. "How do you even see me as brave?" "Vincent, stop it. You don't like me." I didn't know what kind of voice I'd used. Felt like we were already done before we'd even started. His casual ease, that overconfident certainty. It felt like he knew exactly how I felt, like I was already his to keep. He was different now, nothing like the Vincent I used to know. Without a glance back, I stood and walked out of the restaurant, bumping into a bright-eyed girl on my way. A second later, a sugary voice called after me, "Vincent, you're here for dinner too." That was Vincent's white moonlight, Sophia. He probably doesn't like me. It's Sophia he's into. Perfect match, looks and all. I bit my lip and walked faster. As I passed the corner, a sharp tap on the head made me flinch. Landon lounged against the wall like he'd been waiting for me all along. Smirking, he said, Broke up. Mind your own business. I swatted his hand away. Come on, let me buy you a drink. Before I could react, the helmet was shoved onto my head. I was lifted straight onto the back of the bike. Landon, are you insane? Before I could get seated properly, the motorcycle started. In a panic, I wrapped my arms around Landon's waist. It was lean but strong. A voice rang above me. Holding on that tight? You're saying one thing, but your body's screaming another. Shut up. Fine, don't drink if you don't want to. Landon dragged me straight to the city's most infamous bar. More precisely, a gay bar. Wait, what's wrong with you? Why'd you bring me here? Suddenly, Landon lowered his head and leaned towards me, whispering in my ear, lips smacking, wet whispers from the crowd, layered with hot bass and sweat-drenched rhythms. His almond eyes curled just slightly, like they were tempting me on purpose. I looked away fast, shoved him back hard, then marched to the bar with a defiant step. Slammed my hand down. I averted my eyes, pushed him away, and walked up to the bar in a fit of pique. Then I waved my hand grandly and said, this. All of it's insanely overpriced. Except even the most expensive bottle wouldn't cover Landon's watch. The more I thought about it, the madder I got. I took another long pull from my glass. Landon just leaned back, watching me with that lazy smirk, his fingers brushing the wet corner of my mouth. Then he murmured, "Take it easy." I slapped his hand away, then stumbled forward and practically fell into him. "Trying to throw yourself at me?" The grin in his voice was unmistakable. My stomach flipped. Before I could stop myself, I retched. Landon caught me before I hit the floor and muttered something to someone nearby. Look after him. I just sat there, dazed, until a familiar face appeared in front of me. Vincent crouched down, looking up at me. "You really drank all that?" I blinked at him, a dazed smile creeping up. "Vincent, what are you doing here?" "I came to find you." I had no idea what was going on, and the next second, Vincent had me on his back. We hadn't taken 2 steps when a cold voice cut in from behind. "Where the hell do you think you're taking him? So hot. I feel awful. What did you do to him?" Landon yanked me from Vincent's grip, voice sharp. "On my soul, I didn't touch a thing." Landon shot him a cold look, then hoisted me over his shoulder and headed upstairs to the private lounge. I mumbled, loosening my collar. Landon grabbed my wrist. "Don't move." The chill felt amazing. I unconsciously sat up and curled into him, rubbing against his chest. He let me hold on, exhaling softly, then whispered, "God, I wish we could just stay like this forever." When Landon stepped out, he ran into Vincent, who was waiting in the shadow like he'd been there all along. Landon pretended not to see him, until Vincent called out, "Stop chasing Austin. He'll never love you back." "So what? You think I'd ever love you?" Landon turned, voice ice. He kept going. "You're not Vincent anymore, are you? Never moved a muscle before. Now suddenly you're acting like a completely different guy." Vincent froze. Landon stepped forward and slammed him hard against the wall. "I don't care if you're man or monster, but this time, if so much as a hair on Austin's head gets hurt, you're dead." After saying that, Landon let him go. On the balcony, Landon leaned against the rail, cigarette dangling between his fingers, smoke curling into the night. He'd never forget that day. Austin giving up his life to save that woman, and him losing the one he loved most. That day was almost here. When I woke up, my mind was blank. Just remembered spitting on Landon and being carried out by Vincent. Everything felt like a dream, like it wasn't real. I'd lingered in the locker room forever before finally heading out, but Landon and Vincent were already warming up. Damn it, why did we have to be a team? Come on, get moving. What are you waiting for? Landon raised an eyebrow and waved me over. Vincent never took his eyes off me. I had no choice but to walk over. "Austin, your form's still shaky. Train more with these two," the coach called out, voice lazy and flat. "Me or him? Not this again." I shot Landon a look, then plunged into the pool without another word, only to realize too late that fate was out to get me. The second I hit the water, my leg cramped up hard. I flailed wildly, then suddenly found myself in warm arms. Vincent, staring at the guy I'd secretly been crushing on for 5 years. I froze. Didn't even notice I was still held tight in his embrace. Vincent looked down at me tenderly and asked, "Are you okay?" The crowd's laughter exploded around me. The next second I was yanked up, and by the time I snapped back to reality, I was already pinned against the wall. Empty changing room. Just the steady drip of water from the shower. Landon's breath came heavy, his grip on me unrelenting. "You really like him that much?" The sudden question knocked the wind out of me. I'm in love with you, Austin, like, completely and totally in love. Just stay away from Vincent, okay? Please. His voice dropped lower, almost fading. Why? I didn't get it. Then he leaned into me, fingers brushing the back of my neck. "You'll figure it out eventually." A chill ran down my skin as he murmured, "If I win the race tomorrow, will you promise me something?" "You're insane." Everyone knows Vincent's wild on those back alley tracks. He's a legend for pushing it to the edge. How do you even think I wouldn't win? On the mountain ridge, dozens of race cars were parked in a tight circle, screams and cheers echoing all around. When I arrived, Landon wasn't there. Just a blue racer sitting beside me. The window rolled down, and it was Vincent. His voice was soft as he said, "Austin, can you cheer me on later?" "Yeah, sure." I nodded. We were friends now, right? "Austin." I turned around. Then suddenly I was yanked down hard as Landon leaned out the window, hooking an arm around my waist. Voice tight, "Cheer for me." "Got it." He pressed on. "Only for me." Before I could answer, the whistle blew. Landon slammed back into the car, and I watched his red racer glide forward slowly. The clash of red and blue was officially underway. A gunshot rang out, both cars shot ahead, leaving the rest behind, and my chest clenched tight. I never knew Landon could drive like this, or that he'd use it as a bet. Why go to such lengths? Why make sure I stay away from Vincent? What's the real reason behind all this? I had no idea. The giant screen showed a narrow mountain road. Both cars neck and neck, neither giving an inch. Vincent floored it, trying to pull ahead. Everyone sucked in their breath. Going fast on this kind of track? Insane. But then came something even worse. The red car shot forward a second later at an even faster pace. "Landon, you're out of your mind." I couldn't hold back a shout, but he didn't hear a thing. The two cars were still locked in battle, my palms slick with sweat. "Link me up. Get me on the call with Landon." He was truly out of his mind, barreling forward like a man possessed. The road was rough and winding. Any tiny mistake would send them both tumbling down the slope. "Landon, you're gonna get yourself killed. I'll do anything you want. I promise, just stop." The blue car stayed on his tail, and Landon casually tossed out, "How could I lose to my rival?" I was completely blown away. The red car kept accelerating, and I was gripping my chest in dread. They crossed the line side by side. Neither one slowed down. Someone nearby shrieked, "They're not even slowing. If they crash into the finish like that, they'll go over the edge." The blue car was starting to brake, but Landon hadn't hit the pedal yet. I didn't even turn around. I just bolted forward, screaming into the radio without stopping. "Landon, stop, pull over. Now." No response from his end. Halfway there, a thunderous crack echoed ahead. I froze in place, the walkie-talkie in my hand buzzing with a steady beep. Landon's voice crackled through, "Don't cry. I'm not dead." Only then did I realize my cheeks were wet. Had been for who knows how long. My body moved on pure instinct, dazed and reckless, sprinting forward like a man possessed, faster than the rescue team had any right to be. "Danger! Who's that running over there?" I couldn't listen to anything at all. I opened the car door with a trembling hand. Landon's arm was stuck there, and there was blood flowing from his forehead. Landon's arm was pinned, blood streaking down his forehead. And when he saw me, he managed a smirk. "Did you mess yourself up just to keep me away from Vincent? You really went and wrecked yourself just to push me away from Vincent?" Vincent slumped onto me. "Brakes failed. Was that you?" Landon sat up on the hospital bed, bandages wrapped tight around his forehead and arm, staring at the man before him. Vincent just stood there, unflinching, owning it like it was nothing. "Yeah, I checked the brakes myself. I ran diagnostics 3 times. Nobody touched it en route. So how'd someone slip in unnoticed? Either you've got superpowers, or you're cheating. And add to that all the weird stuff you've been doing lately. You're a book-embedded player with your own system, aren't you? Your target is Austin. Vincent let out a soft laugh. You really figured that out? How could he not have guessed? He's also reborn. Last time around, Vincent had been in love with Sophia, but now he's chasing Austin like a man possessed. So the only explanation makes sense. Vincent is a book-embedded player, and his target is Austin. When I walked in, the air between the two of them was crackling with tension. What's going on? Vincent gave me a calm smile. Just checking on Landon. I turned my eyes to Landon. He wasn't looking good. Cold, clipped voice. Come here. The next second, he realized how harsh that sounded and softened his tone. I'm hungry. I walked over to peel him an apple. Then Vincent sat down right beside me. You're not leaving? Vincent gave a small, easy smile. I'll stay and help you take care of him. Not needed. Landon snapped, face darkening. I gently tapped his arm. Act like an adult. Ow! I slid a chunk of apple into his mouth. He gave me a long, deep look. Then, under Vincent's gaze, bit down on my fingertip. He let out a soft laugh. So sweet. My whole body went hot, my breath catching in my throat. Before I could react, Vincent leaned in and took the other apple slice from my hand, grinning as he said, yeah, really sweet. Then he asked, you going on the trip next week? Of course. Might as well make it my honeymoon with Austin. What do you think? I shoved another apple chunk into his mouth. Shut up, you. You two are together now? We've kissed. What do you think? Vincent stared at me, stunned. Wait. Seriously? No. Before I could say a word, Vincent's phone rang, and a somewhat aggrieved female voice came from the other end. Vincent. Can you come over? Vincent was silent for a moment, then he still chose to stand up and leave. Instinctive reaction? Landon sat on the edge of the bed, letting out a dry chuckle. Vincent's steps faltered. Then he vanished down the hallway. The room fell quiet again. Why'd you lie? Still got feelings for him. Ha! Landon fixed me with a look that felt like it was piercing through me. Not really. Suddenly, my waist was locked in a tight grip. Landon used his unbruised hand to pull me close. I leaned into him, just inches away. We were pressed close, my ear filled with the low thrum of his voice. Why not just make the lie real? The next second, he crashed his mouth against mine, fierce and possessive. Not sure how long it lasted, but I ended up leaning into him, his lips brushing softly over my own. Then a low, satisfied murmur, so sweet. His rough voice sent shivers down my spine. I muttered under my breath, not like I asked for this. Again, I lowered my head, trying to resist. My ears burning red. He came back in, fingertips tracing the curve of my ear. I won, he whispered. You have to promise me. I mumbled, barely audible. Yeah, don't do anything that stupid again. You worried about me? Landon leaned in until our noses touched, voice barely a breath. Austin, did you end up falling for me? My heart hammered like a drum. I didn't know. The night before I left for study abroad, Vincent called. His voice was off, raw and broken. Austin, can you come over? Please, what's wrong? I started to ask, but he hung up before I could finish. I hesitated for a second, then went to his place anyway. The moment I opened the door, Vincent collapsed into me, so cold. He nuzzled my neck, chasing coolness. I pushed him back and got him settled on the couch. You're burning up. I'm taking you to the hospital. No. Don't want to go. I sighed, frustrated. Got any medicine at home? None. I turned to leave and grab some, but the next second he grabbed me, yanked me back and slammed me into the couch. How does someone who's sick even have that kind of strength? I tried to push him off, but it was useless. Vincent, get up. Then I felt the weight right on top of me. He didn't move, just pressed his whole body down into mine. His voice came out raw, barely a whisper against my ear. I really like you, Austin. My pupils snapped wide, just enough to see the red flush along his earlobe. My heart kicked into overdrive. Couldn't tell if it was his or mine. We were pressed so close. This was the closest we'd ever been, and it wouldn't get any closer. The thought hit me out of nowhere. Maybe I don't like him after all. Next morning, I made him a bowl of egg noodles before leaving, then left a note on the counter. Wake up, reheat this. It's noon now. Should he be waking up soon? But clearly, no sign of him stirring yet. I packed up and left, Just as the door clicked shut, the guy on the sofa shot upright, eyes snapping open. Vincent walked to the table, stared at the bowl of egg noodles for a long moment, then sat down and started eating, big bites, fast, like he hadn't eaten in days. A few hot tears splashed onto the wooden tabletop. This was his first bowl of egg noodles, and also the promise he never kept as a kid. The one he promised Landon he'd make. Still never happened. My first meal on this trip, and I was sandwiched between two people, literally. Seats were fixed. Vincent on the left, Landon on the right. I picked at my food nervously, hands shaking a little. Austin, eat more. Vincent shoved a spoonful of veggies into my bowl. Landon wasn't about to let him win. The two of them started competing, piling food into my plate like it was some kind of game. In no time, my bowl was overflowing. A sugary voice cut in. Vincent, brother, I want that one. Sophia. She'd come along on this trip too. I watched as Vincent gave a gentle smile and then turned to pick up some food for Sophia. A sudden chill ran up my leg. Then warmth returned as Landon leaned in close and whispered right by my ear. Your husband's right here. What kind of nonsense is that? But I still couldn't stop the flush, spreading from my ears all the way down to my neck. Carl kicked off the chaos. No way, are you all actually into each other? Vincent turned first, voice sharp. I'm the one chasing Sophia. The group groaned. Then Landon dropped another bomb. I've kissed Austin. I clamped my hand over Landon's mouth. What the hell are you saying? Just tell us if it's true. And honestly, I couldn't even speak. No freaking way. This is our dorm drama, not some soap opera. Carl slammed the table, furious. Then he dramatically pressed a hand to his chest. Fine, fine. I trusted you guys like brothers, and you treat me like set-up bait. You're all messing with the only single guy here. He threw himself at Charles beside him, rubbing up against the ice-cold dude so hard his ears turned red. Looks like he might finally be getting lucky soon. I forced myself to finish dinner, but I had no idea the real war was just beginning. We three were stuck in the same room, and it was a double bed. The three of us stared at each other, Landon dark-faced and grumbling. I'm sleeping in the middle. I'm staying with Austin. Vincent didn't hide his stare. His eyes locked right on me. You really think you're good enough to sleep with him? Landon snapped, voice sharp enough to cut glass. Like the next second, they'd be at each other's throats. Fine, I said. I'll take the couch. The moment those words left my mouth, both of them shoved me right into the center of the bed. I froze in the middle, not daring to move, stayed like that all night. Vincent's hand rested on my waist. Landon had one leg thrown over me. I didn't get a wink of sleep. The next morning, Sophia cornered me against the wall. So you're the one who stole Vincent? I don't know what you're talking about. I'm warning you, stop having those sneaky thoughts. In Vincent's heart, I'm the one who comes first. We're getting married soon. I looked down and said quietly, I hope you're happy. Seeing my cool expression, Sophia grabbed the edge of my shirt. You don't even like Vincent? I did back then. It's just the Vincent from the past, the gentle and ambitious one. When I looked up again, Landon stood a few feet away, face like thunder. I looked up and there he was, Landon, standing a good distance away, face dark with anger. Landon, I called out to him, but he kept walking, wrist caught in someone's grip. I didn't manage to catch up. You just said, was that actually true? Vincent tugged on my hand, eyes lit with anticipation for my answer. I shook my head. No, I liked the old you, but I realize now I was just mistaking admiration for something more. Saying it out loud felt surprisingly honest, and not at all wrong. Vincent smiled faintly. Maybe we could take things slow. I want to really get to know you, Austin. My gaze drifted toward where Landon had disappeared. My chest tightened. Maybe I should. I needed to find Landon. He must have misunderstood me. I don't want him to have the wrong idea. I don't know why, but my feelings for Landon seem to have changed. I seem to care about him more and more. Then Vincent spoke up. I need to tell you something important about Landon. I twisted the mug's handle, nerves taut. Couldn't guess what Vincent was about to say. After closing the menu, he slid a few photos across the table. Turns out Landon was chasing you just as a bet with his buddies. He's got a girlfriend overseas. Real one. In the photos, he was all over another woman, hugging close, faces pressed together, more than a few of them. Then he hit play on a recording. Landon, you really gonna go after Austin? Come on, no backing out. just chasing a guy. Piece of cake. That familiar voice hit me like a punch, my mind going blank in an instant. All the feelings I hadn't even had time to grow were crushed before they could bloom. Was every moment with him just because of a bet? But he didn't act like it at all. I kept my head down, and Vincent said quietly, "So, can we try this? Just us." The hotel we'd originally booked was full, so I switched to another one and got a room. At 3 a.m., my door banged open. Landon stood there, drunk, eyes bloodshot. I hesitated, then opened up anyway. The second I did, he pulled me in hard, warm and reeking of booze. He nuzzled my neck over and over, whispering, "Why? Why didn't you answer your phone? You have no idea how scared I was." A damp spot spread on my collarbone, his tears. "Landon, what's the game now? This whole thing, it was all fake, right?" Landon froze for a beat, then slowly straightened up. "What are you talking about?" Under the light, I saw his face. Red-rimmed eyes, shiny from tears, looking utterly broken. "You were chasing me just to win a bet, weren't you? You've got another girl on the side." I laid out the recording and the photo right in front of him. He went pale. "There's no such thing, this audio was faked. And that woman? That's my sister." He gripped my shoulders, voice tight with urgency. "Austin, believe me, please. Please." His voice cracked, thick with emotion, as he lowered his head and pressed soft kisses to my mouth again and again. I didn't pull away. Something deep inside me whispered that Landon truly meant it. He loved me. I hadn't said yes to Vincent. I'd finally seen myself clearly, who I really wanted. Love sneaks out, so does a cough. A sneeze, you can't hide them. And the same goes for not loving someone. Those feelings are just as honest. I could feel his truth, raw and real. Landon just held me tight, his voice hoarse as he whispered, "Promise me you won't go in the water tomorrow. Swear it." I nuzzled into his chest. "Okay." Couldn't sleep a wink that night. Haven't seen Landon since last night. No idea where he went. Thinking back on what he said, I couldn't shake the unease. Why'd he tell me not to go in the water? What's going to happen today? The plan was a cruise out at sea. My stomach dropped when I realized it. As I passed by the room, voices rose sharply. "What do you mean? If we don't pull this off, I'm dead." Vincent's voice cut through the air. "What other way is there to make him fall for me? Kill the second guy? What kind of a plan is that? Player? So Vincent is a player?" I clamped my hand over my mouth, trying not to make a sound. The pieces of this mess were snapping together. Kill the second guy? Second guy? That's Landon? I walked off to call Landon, but the line wouldn't connect. Texted him a dozen times, no reply. A light tap on my shoulder made me jump. I forced myself to stay calm and turned around. Vincent stood there, handing me a fishing rod. "Come on, let's go fishing." He smiled, soft and easy, like he'd never been angry a second ago. Maybe the best move was just to play along. I nodded. On deck, the boat glided across the sea, rocking gently. Then a wave slammed into us, and the whole ship lurched hard. God, I hadn't realized how bad my seasickness was going to be. I clung to the rail, barely able to stand. A cold dread crept up my spine. "Austin, you okay? I'll go get you some motion sickness pills." I gripped the railing, stomach churning. "Yeah." I was lying on the railing to take a rest when suddenly there came a scream from beside me. Turned out that Sophia had fallen into the sea. My face went pale as I watched her thrashing in the sea. "Don't go in." Landon's voice echoed in my head. I hesitated, then felt a sudden shove from behind, and I was tumbling into the water. The dizziness from seasickness hadn't even cleared, and I barely had the strength to fight for breath. Just before I blacked out, I heard a scream. Raw, desperate, tearing through the air. "Austin." I drifted into a long, hazy dream. In it, I was still in love with Vincent. But he didn't want me. He'd fallen for his childhood sweetheart, Sophia. 5 years of quiet longing ended right there. Watching him kiss the girl who'd stolen my heart. Then, out of nowhere, someone new broke into my life. Landon. He pulled me from the shadows, helped me find my footing, showed me it wasn't shameful to love a man. Told me he loved me. We couldn't help but fall headfirst into love. In the dream, I caught sight of a book sitting on the table. Beyond Mountains and Sea. Main characters: Austin, Landon. But in the dream's end, I sank to the ocean floor, dying just to save Sophia, losing myself in the process. Austin. The scream from my nightmare collided with reality. and snapped me back to life. I slowly opened my eyes, and Landon's anxious face swam into view. Suddenly, it all clicked. The story was restarting, with a new player now, Vincent, and the past life Landon had returned to. Landon was my official match. He was always meant to be mine. 2 lifetimes, and I'd loved only him. How tormented he must have been, watching me fall for someone else, then seeing me die right in front of him. The moment my eyes opened, I was crushed in a tight hold. Landon's body trembled uncontrollably. His voice cracked as he whispered over and over, "Thank God. Thank God this time we didn't fail." I gently pushed him back a little, meeting his eyes and saying, "Landon, I love you." A mechanical voice echoed across the sky. Player failure. Official pairing triumph. Dungeon collapsing. Dungeon collapsing. The deep sea turned flat beneath our feet, buildings behind us crashing down with a deafening roar. Silhouetted against the light, Landon grabbed my hand and ran. Like we were fleeing together, like lovers on the run. The world was crumbling around us. Yet we were still in love. At one point, we burst through a barrier. The voice in my head cleared up, sharp and bright. "Welcome to the new world." End of main story. Epilogue. Vincent, I wasn't much of a player. More like a glitch in the system, really. Not many people ever cared for me. The only one who did was my foster home director. I never was easy to get along with, always scowling like someone owed me money or had stolen it. So I learned how to fake a smile, how to bend, to please, to play nice. But she was the one who'd ruffle my hair and say, "Vincent, you don't have to grin just because someone's watching. What matters isn't what they think. It's whether you like yourself. No matter what happens, I've got your back. I'll always love you." She promised to make me a bowl of egg noodles that day. Then the quake hit out of nowhere. She didn't make it, neither did I. We were buried together, under rubble and silence. When I woke up, I was a traveler between stars, completing missions across the cosmos. All I needed to do? Rack up enough points for rewards. Austin and Landon's storyline? A glitch in space-time. I got sucked into their arc, outside my script. My first time ever trying to win over a guy. That was the first time someone actually liked me. Made me see myself in a whole new light. Turns out, being loved is not bad at all. I didn't want to let them down. I tried hard to stay close, but the closer I got, the farther away he seemed. I couldn't figure it out. Then I realized some things don't change. Like Austin and Landon's bond. Even with a player on the field, you can't break that kind of connection. First time I'd ever seen anything like it. And first time I learned someone could restart 99 times, just to get them their happy ending. I never thought my first bowl of egg noodles would come from Austin. Felt weirdly reluctant to let go, but there was nothing I could do about it. If he can't fall for himself, then I guess that's just how it is. Funny thing, this was the first time failing a mission felt kind of good. When I got back to the space station, I expected punishment, but instead, I was told there was an important class in interstellar studies. Even if you fail, there's still a reward. I stared at the hologram ahead, not realizing my face had gone damp. Nolan stood right in front of me, smiling softly. She said, "Vincent, you doing okay?" I nodded hard. Nothing special, nothing terrible, just enough to eat and keep from getting beaten up. We talked a lot about my life now, how much I missed her, the egg noodles I'd eaten. Smelled amazing, the projection had a time limit. I watched her form fade slowly and then whispered, my voice steady, "Director, I've grown up. Maybe I finally became someone worthy of being called an adult. Learned how to love, and how to be loved. Landon, this is my 99th time back here. Still the same snowstorm night, still that one message, still him. And even so, when I saw him, I couldn't stop myself from hugging him tight. I wish time would just freeze right here. Prayed the day never came. This time, I'll fight with everything I've got to get us a happy ending. But I never saw it coming. The world this time had a strategist. In all those first 98 tries, Austin died each time because of that woman. Because of his kindness. He couldn't stand by while someone was in danger, so every time, he walked straight into someone else's trap. Is this really how it ends? I just don't believe it. If it were, I wouldn't have gone through all this again and again. Thank God. Thank God, we finally changed the outcome this time. Austin, I need you to know, no matter which timeline you're in, I'll cross oceans and mountains just to find you.